The church, saved, baptized group of called out believers who want more than just an average life. I called out people who want to do more than just survive. We are courageous kids, committed dads, and passionate families with a desire to plant a church. I called out people who want to be known for more than just a church building, but rather for what we are for. So what are we for? We're for the down and out and the up and out. We're for those on both sides of the tracks. We're for teachers, first responders, single moms, and soccer coaches. We're for families, stepdads, tired dads, and the fatherless. We're for misfits and the misfortunate, the addicted, the hurting, and the brokenhearted. We're for one another. We're for the nobodies and the somebodies, those who have it together and those who don't know any better, the dreamers, the planners, the thinkers. We're for those who think, act, and vote differently. We're for people who hope, dream, and want to forget, the hurting, the hungry. We're for the CEOs and no one knows. We're for truth and hope for everyone. We're for the grace that is for all and the salvation that can change the hopeless, helpless, and useless. We're for salvation, a reciprocating, incredible love that is found only in Jesus Christ. We are for loving where we live and knowing our neighbors, block parties, backyard fire pits, for listening to one another. We're for face-to-face and real togetherness. We're for extending a hand, swinging a hammer, and being there when called upon. We're for knowing the needs of our students and teachers and local officials. We are for community, a community that loves their city and points to Jesus Christ. We're for people who love and care for one another. We are the church plant of Northwest Columbus.
It's exciting, is it not, to think that Fellowship Baptist Church is going to step out by faith and plant another church. Are y'all with me? That is our mission. And Fellowship Baptist Church is ready to multiply and impact by planting another church. And today, me and my family are making it public that we are leading the efforts of Fellowship Baptist Church church plant, and we have gotten peace that God has called us to take that lead pastor position at that church plant. At the beginning of the year, God started working in my heart about taking a lead pastor position. And I didn't know that God was working in Tony's heart at the same time about planting a church. Let me make it very clear. I had no intentions to plant a church. It freaks me out just thinking about it. But the reality is, during that time, me and my wife were praying that God would give us an opportunity to get plugged into a church that was pre-existing, to become the lead pastor of that church. But that was not God's intentions at all. About 3 months ago, I was given a couple of lead pastoral opportunities to pray about, and one of them being the church plant. Pastor Tony met with me and my wife, and we talked and we discussed and we went over very difficult things and just vision casting, if you would. And through that, me and my wife began to pray very heavily about the opportunity to take this church plant. We prayed and God gave us peace. We turned down the other offer we were given and accepted the opportunity to be FBC's church plant. That's a big step for me. And the reason why this is exciting and terrifying opportunity is because I'm comfortable, right? You can tell I've gained a little weight. I've settled in. I'm doing good. But the fact of the matter is, I started asking why. Why after 13 years of being here and 20 years full-time in Christian service is God moving my heart to do something bigger than myself? I'm not going to get emotional. I'm going to keep it together. Be a strong preacher, right? I just established the children's ministry exactly where we were wanting to go. We're on the tail end of our last, God help us, last remodel of the children's department, right? I'm excited. I was moved into the position of the executive pastor about 1.5 years ago. Wow. And that's been such a journey for us just within that period of time. 13 years. But the reality is, God doesn't want us to be comfortable. He just wants us to be consistent and faithful. And the need for a church plant is real. And stepping out by faith to take that lead pastor position at the church plant is a big step of faith for me, but also you, because we're in this together. We are family. Are we family? I believe that. So the next question is where? Where are we going? We, along with Pastor Tony, felt peace to continue to reach Ohio by planting a church northwest of Columbus. This area is about 35 to 40 minutes from here. Some of you actually probably live out in that direction. I'm not sure. And the interesting thing is, this location is in the middle of two of the top fastest growing cities in Ohio. Lots and lots of people. Some that know Jesus and many that don't. But the exact church plant location is yet to be determined. We're still praying about that. As we continue to pray, though, and research this area, we are very confident that God will lead us in the right direction through prayer, time, and resources, including a building that's important. God will pinpoint the exact location of the church. And we want you to pray too, that God will give us wisdom, direction, leading, and clarity of where that will be. So the next question would be when? When will this all take place? When is this going to happen? November and December of this year, we will finalize the church plant location. That's vitally important to us. Complete planning, preparing, and training with church planners and church planner trainers that are coming alongside of me, mentoring me, leaning on a lot of resources and input that's vitally important for the next 2 months. We will establish a church plant playbook. Got to know where you're going and how you're going to get there. And I will finalize details concerning FBC kids, transitional process, that's a big one. And in January, I love the kids here. I love FBC kids. But God called me to more than just FBC kids. And I think it's vitally important to yield to whatever God's will is for my life, whether it be just this church or going beyond the realm of this church. And I'm willing to do that. And I hope you're willing to pray for me as I do that. It's a big step. In January, we will start the transition of children's ministry to a new leadership position of a children's director. It won't look the same, it'll feel different, and that's good. Change is good. I'll begin to take a stronger oversight role as the executive pastor. As I prepare to plant the church, this will help me better train and be prepared for this transition. And I'm really excited about being on that rotation of preaching with Pastor Tony. In February, we will begin to develop a core launch team and continue training, developing, organizing, preparing this launch team to launch the church at the end of 2021 or maybe at the beginning of 2022, depending on how everything lines up and goes. This is a lot. And God is working, and we're excited about this. Now the question is, will you be praying with us? I don't want you to just say, yeah, that's a great idea. I really desperately need you to pray. You that are joining us by way of social media, I am pleading with you to pray. Because too many times churches get started and they fail. Pray for God's leading of the exact location of this church plant. Pray about how God would have you to give. And also pray about joining the launch team. Some people are going to be pumped. Some people are going to be scared. And some people are just going to have to learn to step out by faith like I did. So, this is where we're at. This is where we're going. This is our mission. And we are family. And I can't wait to do it with you all.